This is China L. Colston, also known as Chinese actress and independent filmmaker. I'm here with actress Miss Lisa Darden. How are you, Lisa?
Good.
Good. So we're doing an Actors Hustle interview series today. And so, Lisa, what was your first paid acting gig?
My first paid acting gig was, I would say, primarily my first acting gig in New York. I've had a little gigs and stuff like that.
Sure.
Very bootleg. And I thought I was taking a step up by doing this gig.
Okay.
It was a non-union gig. It was a play called We Got a Problem. And my husband said that should have been my first red flag. There was something wrong with the poor grammar in the title. I thought it was and I thought it was intentional, but no, it was just poor grammar. It was a hot mess. It was the first time they did the play. It was with a pop singer, a well-known singer at the time. And the second time around when they did the play, they hired professional actors. And so it was just a mess because they just handed us like a sheet of paper with words on it and just gave us the instrumental and expected us to just do our thing with it. And we were like, no, we're actors, so you have to give us some direction, just a little bit of direction.
Right.
And so it was just a whole mess. It was like a lot of bumping of heads because they just didn't understand it was a different skill set. They wanted better acting this time around, but then you have to understand that with professional actors, we're different than somebody who is just musically inclined and is a singer. And so, but it was just so unprofessional on so many levels. It was like the set wasn't to scale with the stage. They weren't giving us proper breaks and just different little things like that. But it was my first gig, and it made me really understand, you have to really be choosy on what you do, and sometimes saying no is important, even when you're trying to build your career, because you don't want to be associated with really bad production.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so did you develop your acting skills in college and/or single classes and workshops?
I developed it with all of that.
Okay.
I started acting in high school, drama club and things of that nature, but was very committed. I definitely did church plays and things of that nature. But it was when I saw Seven Guitars that
I love that play.
Oh my gosh, it's like my favorite August Wilson play, which is there's so many
to choose from, right?
Yeah, all of them are phenomenal. But I saw it and I was just sitting there and I felt like I was levitating out of my seat. Especially when the line when Vera says, "You touch me here, you touch me there," and she's just going through that whole little monologue about that.
Yes, the Vera character.
Yes, and I was just like. And then that's when I was like, I want to do this professionally, and I realized kind of in that moment too, you can really do this professionally. It doesn't have to be just a side thing. Right. Even though when you start becoming a professional actor, you realize how many other things that you have to do, and that kind of becomes your side thing sometimes. Right. So, but yeah. But even now, I still take a lot of classes. Constantly, I take classes with casting directors, but I take regular acting classes, and I read a lot of books. I read just recently Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert, I believe her name is. Oh, it was phenomenal. It's just about living a creative life, and it was like I would each chapter after chapter was just like nuggets of just information and just change the way I look at creativity, pursuing creativity professionally, and kind of gave me peace about my journey and the need to be creative, because a lot of my family members, they have regular jobs and stuff like that, but a lot of them, none of my family members are actors. And so I always felt kind of like the black sheep, in that sense. Right. But now, then I looked at it, but my mom is a chef, and she's very creative with food. So I think I got a lot of my creativity from her. I got a lot of hustle from my father.
That's a nice combination.
Yeah.
Nice marriage.
Yeah. So. So those are things that I constantly read and constantly just try to learn and grow as an actor. Type. Yeah.
Okay. So, how do you keep yourself motivated when you're not involved in an acting gig? Woo. Keeping it 100.
I know, it's so hard because it's like insanity sets in when you're not keeping busy,
right.
insanity really kicks in real quick. My husband and I having a strong relationship is definitely my foundation of keeping me sane. We keep each other sane. A lot of times I say like we speak each other off the ledge, because it's just if you're not busy, then it's just like your mind wanders and you have too much time. But like I said, I do read a lot, and sometimes I'll go back and read something that I just feel like I need at this time. One of my favorite books is They Can Kill You But They Can't Eat You.
That's interesting.
Yeah, by Dawn Steele.
Title.
It's an old book, and she's actually passed away now, but she was the one who produced Cool Runnings. And it's just about like she had so many trials and tribulations. She was super creative and did like really creative things. But she had to just learn how to step out and just trust herself and believe in herself. And I think you can find it on Amazon, but it's like the shipping costs more than the book. Because it's such an old book. But just those things and thinking of creative ways and how to approach like myself as an actor and my career and things of that nature. But I try to work as much as I can. Always trying to have like a side gig to really keep myself busy, and just do the things that I love. Travel, I love watching movies, television, going to the movies. I go early.
Yes, nothing like a matinee.
Save myself a few dollars because I'm free,
Why not?
And it's less, and there's like really usually like not that many people in there, so you don't have to be sitting because I always get like next to the big dude at the that's dressed in a costume when I go to see the movie, when I go see a movie, and so I'm just like, ugh. So I like it when it's a little less people because I always get that creepy guy sitting next to me. So
okay, so what other income-producing hustles, if any, do you take on in between acting gigs?
In between?
Yeah.
I just try to do a little bit of everything.
You can mention a couple or one or two?
Oh, gosh. Well, Actors Fund is a really great place to find hustle gigs that really support your acting. And they're very supportive in, like, whatever you want to do. You want to sideline, you want to change careers or whatever. Like they're really supportive and help and have a lot of resources. So I found a lot of my side hustles from them. But I've done catering, babysitting. I've done so many things. Retail, but that gets a little tricky because they want you there on their schedule.
Right.
But I've worked as an assistant to a director. I've worked as an assistant to a producer. Being an assistant though is really difficult because once you sign up to be someone's assistant, it's about their dreams, their goals, their day-to-day tasks. And so and I find when you're good, then you're trying to leave them because you're like, what, I got to focus on my stuff. And number one, they're 9 out of 10 don't want to help you because you're good. They want to keep you. But then on top of it, they'll I'm going to help you. I can call people for you. I've been here for 6 months and you haven't called not one person for me. Now you're going to all of a sudden want to call people. So it's like certain jobs I try to keep away from, but certain jobs that really help me to be able to call and say, I have an audition, I have a callback, I can't come in until 2 today. Or jobs and I'm very upfront with any employer because it's always been a problem. And I've been upfront and then they hire me and then they don't realize that I do still audition.
That you're serious about it.
Yeah, and that I do work. And so it gets a little tricky, but any side hustle, and I've had 4 jobs at one time, which is tough just to make those ends meet. But the God has blessed me. My commercials become my bread and butter. So I don't have to do as much hustling, but still hustling. Okay.
Name a play or on-camera project in which you delivered. You felt like you delivered an A+ performance or A+ moment.
Okay,
I'm play or on-camera project.
I'm gonna go with the A+ moment.
Okay.
Because I'm really hard on myself, so I generally don't feel like, the whole thing was A+. And which I'm trying to work on.
Yes, please do, Lisa. Please do.
Because I'm always just picking up, afterwards I'm just always picking myself apart, and I could have done that better. But I would say A+ was, I think when I did Richard, was it Richard III that I did? I played Queen Margaret. And this was at the point where she was starting her decline. Her son is dead at this point, and so my clothing was starting to get torn and tattered, but I had this one piece of jewelry on, and that was like my last little piece of any kind of value. Okay. And somehow I turned and the chain popped. And I'm saying something, I can't even remember my lines, but I'm saying something, and it's something about basically revenge and like I have nothing left and this, that, whatever, and this chain pops, and I see it and it falls to the floor, and something instantly inside me said, this is the last thing you have. And so I scooped down so hard and got that jewelry, and even the way I was holding it was like, it was just so precious to me. Right. And then the next line that I had was just so appropriate for what just happened. And so I said my line. I said a little extra because of what I was feeling in that moment. And then somebody honest was like, And so I was like, oh, somebody got it. Right. You know? Right. So that was my moment that I was like, oh.
Now, was that part of the play, or that was accidental?
It was accidental.
Oh, you used it.
Yeah, and I was like, but even in auditions, like I had an acting teacher, she was like, you pray for accidents in your auditions, because she was like, those are the best moments, because it's just, you have to react and be in the moment, you know, instead of like, oh, make sure I say my line, make sure I say the line, make sure this is good, make sure that's right, make sure I hit that point, you know? Right. So, which I'm like, I don't want to make a mistake in an audition, you know, but
that's a really good suggestion.
Yeah.
Okay, so name a play or on-camera project in which you delivered a C- performance or C- moments.
Now see that, but then the critical side of me is like, I ain't give no C+ performance, girl.
Hello.
But no, I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah, I would say my web series. I did produced a web series called Breaking and Entering, right on. And it was just producing something and acting in it and all that kind of stuff is a whole nother ball of wax. And so we did the scene. We were shooting for 3 days. Mm-hmm. We did my scene like the second day at the end of the day, and we were there because I live in New York, but we shoot it in LA. Oh, and nice. So we had to travel to LA, and we're doing all this stuff, scouting locations and all these kind of different stuff. My mind is going a mile a minute. I was so tired. So by the time it came to doing my scene, I was like so exhausted. Because as an actor, I'm just used to sitting there. Yeah. I'm just used to sitting there, and I was like, and even early that day, people were making noise, so we had to stop for sound, and and I had to like go upstairs, run upstairs, and beg neighbors to not make noise because we were shooting in a bar and there were apartments up top, and so it was just like running all around, making sure things. I had to go grab lunch and all this kind of stuff, and I don't live in LA, so I'm like, trying to like, oh my gosh, and you can't have lunch late and all this kind of stuff because we were using SAG actors. Okay. And so, that was a thing that I was like, next time, that day, if I have a scene, I would try to shoot it early. I would try to schedule things to make it easier for me. Right. Or, sit back and relax. I don't, just do things differently to make sure I have the energy that I need from my scene. Because if I felt like if I had the energy, I would have pulled it back a little bit more, but I was a little too loose and a little too more freer than I liked. Right. So, and it wasn't my favorite performance out of anything I've done. Okay. Respect. And lesson learned, right? Okay.
Okay, so, if you could inhabit a widely known person in a biopic, who would they be and why?
Okay. I'd have to say my girl Jennifer Lewis.
Hey!
I absolutely...
The actress?
The actress.
Okay, right.
Yeah, because I absolutely love her. I think she's just like so smart and so talented, of course. Yes. But her comedic timing is impeccable. Hilarious. But even like when you see her in drama, she's really great too. Yes. Even though she doesn't get to do that as often. Right. That's so true. But she's a force to be reckoned with. And she does have. She's come out and said that she has some mental health issues. Mm-hmm. But I've met her before, and just to see her operate and like. I was an assistant to the director on a movie called Not Easily Broken, and I saw her, like, I didn't see what she did to prep for her.
Oh my God, I love that movie.
Oh, do you?
Oh.
Good.
Oh my, I just realized what you just said. Okay.
I feel like I had a little hand in it.
Oh, nice.
A little tiny hand, honey.
Okay.
Like a glimmer of a glimpse of something.
I'm sorry, you were saying about...
But like in her big emotional scene, she came out ready for it. Like she was walking out and she's like you could just tell, and she was like even like making it sound like because whatever she did to prep for that scene, she was ready to go. And on that project, they did give actors the ability to chime in and add to the script and change certain things. And so what she added to her scenes, she's just phenomenal. She's really phenomenal. And her career, from choosing big time projects to just having to take those small projects or the black projects that a lot of people don't want to take or deem not as good. She's just always brought stellar performances.
And you would portray her?
I would, because I think I could do a Jennifer Lewis voice.
You could do her voice?
I could do a little bit.
Okay, all right.
Oh, because one time we were on set, somebody messed up her wardrobe. She had a PA that was kind of like assigned to her.
Sure.
And so his name was Fred. So she came out, she said, "Fred, they done fucked up my wardrobe. Now I need a cookie." So
I can't with her. I can't.
She is, but and then like I love her because she can be so big and so animated, but she knows how to do it, get it, and get out.
What?
She's just like the ultimate to me, because like everything is pulled back because it's on camera now, like and that's a whole different medium. But she just she's phenomenal. But even like I read an article about one of the creators, Kenya Barris, and he was just like they have to sometimes like not be very conscious to not let her take over the show, because she's just such a force to reckon with. So it's she's phenomenal, and I would love to play her, but I would love to just kind of get into her life and what hurt and pain is down deep in there, what has happened to her.
All right, so shout out to Jennifer Lewis. You are the first actor to say that you wanted to portray her in an actor in a biopic. So shout out to you, Jennifer Lewis. So funny. Who are your favorite male and female film actors?
Pick
one male and one woman. Who would they be?
Oh, Viola Davis.
Right on.
Love me for
Miss
my
Viola.
I just think she's just I used to say Meryl Streep, and I still
Meryl
do
Streep
love.
is a beast.
Yes, she is redunculous.
Yeah.
But I feel like Viola Davis is right there with her.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're actor, male or female, there's so many people that can't go toe to toe with those two.
Right.
But to me, Viola Davis, what she's done on television with How to Get Away with Murder, and just bearing herself like that on television, and I feel like other actresses have done it, in film and television, but no one has gone as far as she has. And she's giving Oscar caliber performances
every time
on a TV.
Right.
And I'd be like, did anybody tell Viola like this TV you got to go that hard?
Right.
But she's the type that seems like no, I'm gonna bring it all. And I love her. I love her spirit. I just love her. I think she's beautiful. She's talented, whether she's in her straight natural state or all done up.
And her foundation is theater.
Yeah.
Theater.
Phenomenal performances in theater, and it's just like where she's just hard hitting. It's just she's amazing, and I love the track of her career. As far as male, I would say Bryan Cranston.
Okay.
I really love Bryan Cranston. I just saw All the Way,
which is a what?
It's HBO.
Oh, okay. I don't have cable, so that's why I had to ask.
Oh, girl, I had to watch it on somebody else's password.
Right.
I mean, like, to me, he just inhabits characters so well. I loved him in Breaking Bad. I didn't get to really watch a whole lot of Breaking Bad because it was just like the anxiety of it was just like, and for me, as I love a full wide range of things, for me to feel that much anxiety when watching something was just phenomenal. And he just to me, and I saw him at a talk back once when I was